Hello guys, for today's video, I'm going to show you how to create, edit, and utilize gradient in Photoshop. I got some samples here, just like this text turned into this, and a photo applied with a gradient. And also we will dive deeper into creating basic gradients, editing gradient properties, exploring gradient types, applying gradients to shapes and text, and blending modes and opacity with gradients. So let's start and let's open Photoshop. A gradient tool is a powerful feature that allows you to effortlessly blend colors and create stunning visual effects. Located here in the toolbar, the gradient tool is represented by this icon, which looks like a rectangle with gradient fill. When you select the gradient tool, you'll see the options panel at top where you can choose the type of gradient and customize its properties. You can choose from the various gradient types, including linear, radial, angled, reflected, and diamond gradient. And each style creates different style of blending. For example, a linear gradient blends colors in straight line, like this. So this is the linear blend. And I'm going to drag it out to apply it. So that's how it goes. While selecting this radial gradient, well, if I apply it, it radiates out from the central point. See that? So it's something like it's creating a circular effect. And other types of gradient has its different blends. So it's up to you how you experiment and compare each blend. Next, you can select the colors for your gradient by clicking on the colors tabs in the gradient color. So how to find that? So just click on this bar and then the gradient editor window will appear. Below here, these are the colors tabs which you can change. So for example, this one, once I click that one, you can see this color appear. So maybe, for example, I'll change it to yellow, for example. And here in the middle, let's click on it. And then maybe let's change it to another color, for example, purple. And the last one, we can also change it. For example, we can choose dark blue. Okay. And also, on this top part, this one is where you can adjust the opacity of each color. So for example, I'm going to click that one and then you see it's aligned to the green color. Now that means I can lessen the opacity or I can adjust, but yeah, I won't move that. I just want to explain it to you. And then once you're done customizing this, don't forget to click OK. Once you've chosen your gradient type and colors, now it's time to apply the gradient to your canvas. So just simply click and drag to draw the gradient shape. And there you go. Not only that, by dragging your mouse across the canvas, you can control the direction and size of the gradient. Just experiment with different angles and shapes to achieve the desired effect. So let's say example, let's start from here and let's drag it to the left. Okay, so it goes like this. So it's up to you which is the best for you. Now in the next part, I'm also going to show you how to apply gradients to shapes and text. So in this file, we already have this text with font style on it. So we're just going to add the gradient effects on the text. So to do that, let's create a layer. So let's go here. Just click on this to create a new layer. And now once we're done, let's click on the new layer and then go to the gradient tool. The shortcut key of gradient tool is G. So just select it. Right. Now once we're done, we can apply the gradient tool in this layer. Now, the next thing to do is we're going to bring this into the text layer. So always make sure that that this gradient layer is on top of this text. Because here we're going to use a clipping mask. So just have to right click on this gradient layer that we just created and then select create clipping mask. Now the layer will get into this layer. Now the gradient layer will get in to the text layer. So you can see how it works. Now I'm also going to show you how we add gradient in shapes. So let's go and let's click on the ellipse tool and let's create it. Right. Okay, so we have to bring this behind the text. So let's just drag it here under the text. And now you see it's already behind it, right? Okay, now let me just adjust this. Okay, so how do we apply gradient into this or in this oval? So it's just the same thing, just like what we did. So to do that, we're just going to create another layer mask. So we have to select on this oval layer that we just created and then add a new layer. And then, just the same thing, we're going to select on the gradient tool. And then, so when I try to apply that, it's just the same color with the gradient with the text, right? So I want to change that. So let's just click on this gradient editor. By the way, there are different presets that we can also use. Alright, so for example, let's choose blue. And this is already a gradient preset that is already made from us. So let's choose a brighter color, for example. Let's just click on this and just select OK and then apply it. Alright, now once we're done, let's select on this layer once again and then create a clipping mask. And you see that the gradient is already applied to our oval. That looks like this. And by the way, if you find this video helpful so far, please consider subscribing to help YouTube algorithm show my video to other nerds like us. Another example of gradient is about applying gradient into photos. So I got this black and white image because our plan here is to apply a gradient color to it so it will look colorful. To do that, so just the same thing, we're going to create another layer on top of this image. Then the same thing, let's click on the gradient tool. I want to customize it this way. I want to click on this one and then select to color green, for example, because we're going to color the land green. And the other one, let's change it into color blue for the sky. Okay, this one is fine. And then maybe I'm going to lessen the opacity so the green color is not that strong. And then select OK. Alright, now let's apply it to that layer. And now you see it was on top. The next thing we're going to do is to change the blending mode of this layer. So to do that, just click on this. And then in my case, I want to choose overlay. Okay. Now you see that the gradient is already applied to the image. If you want to change it, well, you can just keep on selecting this layer and then find the best result. Okay, so I just want this one color green and this one's blue. Alright, so in my case, this one looks good for me. And that is how to create, edit, and utilize gradient in Photoshop.